Pause right here. Everyone tells you Virginia Beach is the duty station to get, and they're not wrong. But here's what nobody tells you when your orders say Hampton Roads. There is a city right across the Elizabeth River where military families are getting significantly more home, significantly shorter commutes, and significantly more equity than anything Virginia Beach is offering in this price point right now. 11 minutes to the Coast Guard base, 12 minutes to Portsmouth Naval Hospital, and 13 minutes to the DoD Suffolk Complex. No tunnels, no tolls. And the home directly across the street sold for $734,000 in December of 2024. I want to show you what $570,000 buys here. Stay with me. I recently worked with a Coast Guard family who came in with their mindset on Virginia Beach. 2 kids, 1 spouse, managing the household largely solo during deployments. They wanted a real yard and a good school zone and a commute that didn't punish them every morning. We ran the numbers side by side. Portsmouth put him 11 minutes from the gate. No tunnel, no backup, no app to check before leaving the house. Virginia Beach put him 25 to 45 minutes away, depending on the time of day. They ended up buying in Sterling Point. She told me 3 months after move-in, it was the first duty station where she felt like they had actually landed somewhere, not just parked. Today, I'm taking you inside a real home in Sterling Point neighborhood of Portsmouth, listed at $570,000. I'm going to show you the verified commute times to all 3 bases, the real neighborhood data, what the waterfront homes on the same street are selling for, and the flood zone information your lender will ask about. Real numbers, real trade-offs, no fluff. At the end, I'll tease what's coming next because the Portsmouth story doesn't stop at $570,000. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Megan Luker, military wife, mom, and I've been helping families relocate to Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads for over 35 years. Here's the philosophy I live by. Real estate should be built on trust, transparency, and the full picture. That means today I'm not going to sell you on Portsmouth. I'm going to show you the actual numbers so you can decide if it belongs on your list. Let's get into it. Portsmouth sits right across the Elizabeth River from Norfolk, connected to the rest of Hampton Roads by the downtown tunnel, the Midtown Tunnel, and the high-rise bridge. The Churchland area where this home is has a neighborhood median around $325,000. The citywide median sale price in Portsmouth is $270,000. This home is listed at $570,000 at $159 per square foot. In Virginia Beach right now, $159 per square foot for a move-in ready home at this size is nearly impossible to find. You are paying $200, $220, even $240 a square foot in comparable neighborhoods across the water. And Portsmouth is accelerating. Closed sales are up 24.6% year over year. Homes selling in 33 days on average. Sellers getting 98% of list price. The families getting into Portsmouth right now are getting ahead of a market that is catching up fast. Let me give you the commute numbers, not estimates, actual Google Map polls from this front door. U.S. Coast Guard base Portsmouth takes 11 minutes, 4 miles, no tunnels, no tolls. Naval Medical Center Portsmouth, 12 minutes, 4 miles, no tunnels, no tolls. DoD Suffolk Complex, 13 minutes, 4.8 miles, no tunnels, no tolls. 3 bases, 11, 12, and 13 minutes, 0 tunnels. If you have lived anywhere else in Hampton Roads, you know what a commute without the tunnel actually means. No checking the tunnel app before you leave. No sitting in a backup because of one fender bender on I-264. No adding 45 minutes to a drive that should take 20. Every minute you are not in tunnel traffic is a minute back with your family. Over a 3-year tour, that adds up to something real. The Sterling Point neighborhood in Portsmouth, zip code 23703, is a sister neighborhood to Green Acres right next door, an established subdivision of homes built primarily from the 1940s through the 1960s, with later additions, real lot sizes, and mature trees. A streetscape that took 60 years to grow into what it is. The neighborhood sits right along the Elizabeth River. You feel the water, the views, the breezes, the character, without paying the full waterfront premium. Sterling Point has a higher proportion of active military residents than 97.7% of neighborhoods in America. More government workers than 97.6% of neighborhoods nationwide. This is not a neighborhood that will look at your base sticker funny. These are your people. The price range in Sterling Point and Green Acres runs from the low 300,000s, from a solid brick ranch starter home all the way up to $734,000 for direct Elizabeth River waterfront with a private boat dock, which sold right on this street in December of 2024. The middle of the market is updated, move-in ready, with real square footage. It sits in the 400,000s to the low 500,000. At $570,000 for 3,589 square feet, 2417 Sterling Point sits at a value position on this street. Directly across the street is 2412 Sterling Point Drive. It's on the waterfront of the Elizabeth River with views and half-acre lot, a 100-foot private boat dock with 2 boat lifts. It sold in December of 2024 for $734,000. It had 2,565 square feet at $284 per square foot. 2417 is 3,589 square feet at $159 per square foot. That is more than 1,000 square feet more. Same street, same schools, same community. Here's the piece most buyers don't think about until their lender brings it up. Flood zones. The waterfront properties on this street are in FEMA AE flood zones. High risk. Mandatory flood insurance required by lenders. That can add $2,000 to $4,000 a year on top of your mortgage. 2417 Sterling Point Drive is a FEMA zone X500. That means no mandatory flood insurance is required. You get the river proximity, the neighborhood, the community, without the flood insurance bill that comes with waterfront lots. That is a piece of value story that does not show up in the list price. Schools. Churchland Academy Elementary and Churchland Middle School are both on Rivershore Road, minutes from this front door. Same school zone as the waterfront homes on this street. Churchland High School rounds out the district, strong academics, athletics, and arts programs. Groceries. Harris Teeter, Food Lion, and Aldi are all on Churchland Boulevard. Walmart and Home Depot are 13 minutes west, highway access. Route 17 right here, north and south. Route 164 east towards downtown Portsmouth, or west to I-664 and the Hampton Roads Beltway. Newport News, Hampton, the Monitor Merrimack Bridge Tunnel, all within reach without a downtown tunnel. This neighborhood works in every direction. Now let's go inside. Here we are, 2417 Sterling Point Drive, listed at $570,000. It has 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths at 3,589 square feet. It was built in 1956 with a 2004 second floor addition. No HOA. It's super clean and it's beautifully maintained. Genuinely, it's a move-in ready condition. So let's walk through it. From the street, you'll see gorgeous new siding, fresh paint throughout, and strong curb appeal. And that matters when you eventually resell. The roof was replaced in 2016. The fence was installed in 2023. And a 1-car attached garage plus driveway. The lot is a 0.29 acres, a real yard. And again, FEMA Zone X500, no mandatory flood insurance. That is $2,000 to $4,000 per year you are not paying, compared to the waterfront lots directly across the street. That is $2,000 to $4,000 per year you are not paying, compared to the waterfront lots across the street. The backyard has a fire pit and is fully fenced. This is where you spend Hampton Roads evenings from April through November. This home has been maintained with intention. Every upgrade is done thoughtfully. That is not always the case at this price. The kitchen was renovated in 2017. All appliances under 2 years old, a gas range, microwave, dishwasher, disposal, and refrigerator. The kitchen is done. Good counter space, good cabinet depth, gas cooking. If you cook, you know why that matters. The living room has brand new windows, open, bright, and genuinely livable. The utility and laundry room are expansive. Plenty of working room that a military family actually needs. The first floor HVAC is less than 5 years old and it is a zoned system. You are not heating rooms you are not using. The first floor primary suite, main level, has no stairs at the end of a long duty day. It has a walk-in closet and a beautiful ensuite. The second floor was an addition in 2004. It is built for function independently from the original home. It has electric heat separated with the main floor zoned system. 2 primary suites in one home. Let me tell you what that actually means for a military family. An aging parent who needs to be close. This is their space with full privacy. Extended family rotating through a PCS transition. This is their suite, not a guest room. Frequently deployed, your spouse has 2 complete primary level options, depending on what life looks like that week. With brand new carpet throughout the second floor, move-in ready from day 1. Don't forget there's a walk-in attic, it's huge. With 5 bedrooms, 2 primary suites, a walk-in attic, a floor plan built for real life. Portsmouth is building real equity for the families who took the time to understand it. I want to spend a moment on something most people skip. Here's what the equity story looks like in real numbers on this street. The seller of this home bought it for $305,000 in 2017. It's listed at $570,000 in 2026. That is $265,000 in appreciation in 9 years. The waterfront home directly across the street, 2412 Sterling Point Drive, sold for $375,000 in 2014 and $734,000 in 2024, in 10 years. That is not a boom market story. That is what happens in a military-anchored market with steady, consistent demand where the bases never close and the families never stop coming. When you buy in Portsmouth right now, even at the value position on this street, you are not just buying a place to live for 3 years. You are buying an asset in a market where the demand is structurally guaranteed. Let's bring this home. The commutes. Coast Guard, 11 minutes. Naval Medical, 12 minutes. And DoD Suffolk, 13 minutes. 0 tunnels, 0 tolls. Verified. The neighborhood, Sterling Point and Green Acres, established, military-heavy, Elizabeth River proximity, price range from the low 300s to $734,000 on Waterfront. Here are the comps. 2412 Sterling Point Drive sold December 2024 for $734,000 for 11 days, over asking with mandatory flood insurance. 2417 Sterling Point is $570,000 for 3589 square feet at $159 per square foot with no HOA and no mandatory flood insurance. The schools, Churchland Academy Elementary, Churchland Middle, and Churchland High, all within minutes. And shopping, you have Harris Teeter, Food Lion, Aldi on Churchland Boulevard, and there's Walmart and Home Depot 13 minutes west. Equity of $305,000 in 2017 to $570,000 listed in 2026. That's $265,000 in 9 years. The families who are winning in this market looked at Portsmouth before everyone else did. This video exists to make sure you are one of them. So let's answer the real questions. Is Portsmouth actually a good market for military families? Yes, if you run the full numbers and match the neighborhood to your base assignment. Is the commute really that short? We pulled every drive time on Google Maps from this front door. 11, 12, and 13 minutes verified. What is the catch? Portsmouth doesn't have Virginia Beach's name recognition. It doesn't have the ocean, but for military families, it has the commute, the value, the equity story that Virginia Beach stopped offering at this price point. Should I rent or buy in Portsmouth? If your orders are 36 months or more and the numbers work, the math in this market almost always favors buying. Why do some families overlook Portsmouth? Because it doesn't come up first in the Facebook groups. Portsmouth rewards the families who took the time to look past the obvious answer. And before we wrap, I want to give you a preview of what's coming next. Because the Portsmouth story does not stop at $570,000. In the next video, I'm taking you on a neighborhood tour of Portsmouth in the $375,000 to $460,000 range. What that price point buys you, which neighborhoods, what the trade-offs actually look like at this tier. Because not every military family is shopping at $570,000, and Portsmouth has a story at every price point. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. If you want to sit down and talk through whether Portsmouth fits your situation, your base, your BAH, your family's daily life, look below and book a Zoom call with me. I've had this conversation hundreds of times. It takes 10 minutes and it changes how you search. Real numbers, real neighborhoods, no pressure. And if this video helped you see what $570,000 actually buys in a market most military families aren't looking at yet, subscribe. I post every week breaking down Hampton Roads neighborhoods, PCS decisions, and everything military families need to know before they get here. Welcome home. This is Real Life Virginia Beach.